Hi, everyone. It feels like a bit more of a lively one today. It feels like it's for context. Me and Matthew, Matthew's here as well, guys.
Hello.
Um, Me and Matthew have basically the most conflicting schedules ever. So 9 pods out of 10 will be either recorded at stupid o'clock the day before or stupid o'clock the day of. And now it's normal o'clock. It's still the day before, but it's normal o'clock. And I think that's quite cheery for both of us. I don't know. I'm finding it much better not being midnight or like 8 a.m. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I've got to agree with you. I feel a lot more energetic than normal. Hopefully, you know what? This will mean our predictions will be better this week because we're not severely tired.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, we'll ignore the fact that even when we're not tired, they're still wrong. But
Yeah. We'll ignore that for now, but
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, how's your week been?
I have just been working pretty much all week.
Ooh.
How's your week been?
My week's been a week. It's just been 7 days. It's not been much to it. I'm afraid.
No.
That being, I got this shirt from when we were in the Premier League, so I could pretend we're still good. But I've wanted it for years, and I've finally found it. So well done, me.
Well done you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
The only thing that I believe we need to disclose about the footballing week is Morecambe have been docked 3 points, which means the playoffs have opened up a little bit, but it has also opened up for the worst, probably the worst team ever, Doncaster.
Maybe.
No, maybe the worst team ever. I don't mind them as a team, but they need to calm down a bit because we made a lot of fun of them, and we've stopped making fun of them. We've stopped making fun of them, and they're still proving us wrong. I'm gonna take a peek at the table.
You don't want to.
So Doncaster are 4 points off playoffs as it stands, which is vile. It's absolutely disgusting. That being said, we're only 8 points off playoffs now.
And we're 10 points off playoffs now.
You still got a chance. We've all got 4 games left. Morecambe have 3 games left, so it makes it interesting for them.
It does.
Any other general bits of table talk from you?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think on the lower end, Colchester are now in the relegation zone by
they are indeed,
but they've got 2 games to play.
So with those 2 games in hand, they'll gain 2 points and they'll be on 40, which will take them outside the relegation zone.
It will. That's some of the best maths I have ever heard.
Thank you. Honestly, I pride myself on my quick maths.
Yeah, well done. Well done. Shall we just dive right in?
Let's do a Tom Daly and we'll dive in.
Look through. I do a Paul Mullin and just dive right into the fixtures for the upcoming week. Let's have a look then. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, we'll do our regular. We like to alternate, so we'll start with the Bradford fixture this week, which you take on. You go to Salford, the bright lights of Salford, tomorrow. In fact, how are you feeling about it?
I'm a little bit nervous because Salford, they feel like a team that we drew to them earlier in the season, and we played quite badly. This was when our pitch was sort of at its worst. Yeah,
has it got better since then?
It has got a bit better. It's not a swimming pool anymore. It's not a bog. There isn't too much grass on it, but it's it's playable now. It's playable, and yeah, it was 1-1. I can't remember who scored for us, but Matt Smith scored for them, who I'm a bit worried about. He's a very good footballer. Yeah, when Carl Robinson came in, just when he came in, that's when we played them, and they had great form when they when they made the change, and everyone thought, oh, they could sneak into playoffs, even from 20th or whatever. But I mean, for me, that's ended for them and for us. I think obviously it's more likely for us now, but I think most people have given up on any chances.
Yeah.
If we do want to get playoffs, we want to get 4 wins in 4. Which is possible, but to get into playoffs, you have to rely on way too much to make that happen. Salford are injured. I know this. They're with injury. I think they have one centre half, which is encouraging for me. But I don't know. Last season, we beat them twice, but we only just beat them, by 1 goal, and then sort of the game died. So I don't really know. I like Salford away. You can go out in Manchester before and after. I won't be doing that. I will be coming home back to reality, back to the you have some fun in Salford, and then you come back and realise, wow, it's not like that everywhere.
No, you go. It's like the Vegas of the UK sort of thing, isn't it? It's the bright lights, it's the big names. You go and you think, wow, this is how the other half live, and then you return.
It really is.
Then you return.
Yeah, I mean, our squad's quite strong. We've only got 3 long-term injuries. I'm struggling to remember who they are. I think we've got Alex Pattison out, we've got Sam Stubbs out, and we've got one other who I don't know who they are.
Is Jake Young fit yet?
Oh, he's the one. He's the one that's out.
Right, okay, cool.
Well, thank you. No, Jake Young his leg quite a bit, and yeah, he was played through injury at Swindon and then came back, didn't play. People freaked out thinking that we were lying about an injury, so he gets sold. But he's still here, so that's always good. But he's not playing, so that's always bad, Taking all things into consideration, there's not too much to say about Bradford or Salford at this point, just because our seasons have pretty much ended. I do think we'll win. I think we've got quite a solid back line at the moment, even with Sam Stubbs out. I think we have what it takes to score more than Salford do. Matt Smith's going to be a bit of a tricky one, but Salford's form isn't the best. Let me just pull up the table. We've got 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in our last 5. And Salford have 3 losses and 2 wins, so they've lost their last 3. I really don't think we're a bad team. I think, if we just start the right lineup, it's that easy, I'm going to say a 2-1 win for us. I think Andy Cook will score. I think Matt Smith will score. And who else do I think will score? Well, I'll say Brad Halliday again.
Brad Halliday is an absolute player.
He's a brilliant footballer. I don't think he was that good against you, though. He's not.
I don't know. That second half, he came to life against us.
Yeah, he's a good player. He started scoring. He was just a traditional fullback last season, and now he's a wing back, and he's just it's like, why weren't we using him like this before? Brilliant player. And he said that his contract expires, and he said that he really wants to stay. So that's good. But his contract's not extended yet. But yeah, that's it. That's it for Bradford talk for me.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't think I can really add too much to the Bradford conversation. However, I've got to agree with you that Salford are on. We can see they're on really bad form at the moment. Again, they're not going to get relegated. The 9 points off the relegation zone. There's no way they're getting playoffs. I think the dream's dead for Bradford as well, if I'm honest, as it is with Notts. But there's still a glimmer, there's still a little glisten of hope. Not for Salford. Yeah, I get what you mean in terms of Bradford. You've got a very good team. You've got a very, very good quality lineup. And I get what you're saying when you say it's just a case of lining the people up correctly and letting them kind of wind in and watch them go. And with that in mind, I do think you'll win, if I'm honest.
I hope so. That would be nice.
It would be. It would be. I'm not gonna join you because I don't want to be boring, but I'm gonna go for a 3-1 win for Bradford.
Well, I'd take that most certainly.
I'm sure you very much would do.
I absolutely would.
And we'll move swiftly on. We'll leave Bradford behind in the dust, like on their pitch.
Just drop a bit further down the table.
Yes, all right, fair play.
We'll
drop distance. 2 more. We'll drop 2 places down the table to Walsall, who take on my team, Notts County, tomorrow. Walsall seem to be on a weird bit of form. They've lost 2, won 2, drawn 1 in the last 5. They're still kind of flirting with the playoff positions. They're only 3 points off. We've got it already, which is if they win and results go their way, then they could be in the playoffs. If they win and results go their way, they could be in the playoffs come the end of tomorrow. Hopefully that isn't the case, because that means we've lost.
I mean, they'd have to win what, like 3-0?
They'd have to win a considerable margin, and Crawley would have to lose by a decent amount as well, or Crawley lose by a decent amount.
Yeah,
but it's doable. It's possible, especially with our defense, which I believe, yes, is still the worst in the league. I mean, we had a really good game against Harrogate. Just gone 3-0 at home. First win for Maynard at Meadow Lane, which everyone was really chuffed about, obviously.
People still want him out, though.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, because he's. I think we've won. We've played about 14 games, maybe 15. We've won 3. With him at the helm, which isn't the best record, if I'm honest. We've had managers with better, like Luke Williams. I do so
well,
much.
He's gone. That bald fraud is gone.
I know. So, he's not a fraud.
But he is bald.
He is bald. I miss him. Sorry, getting emotional. I like to think we'll take the momentum from Saturday into tomorrow's game, but that's with a very, very optimistic outlook, with the fact Walsall have just come off the back of a loss to Doncaster. They've had some really weird results, though, Walsall. I've just been having a look through their recent results. They've lost to Doncaster 2-1, which is fair because everyone's losing to Doncaster at the minute. They beat Tranmere, they beat Salford, then they lost 5-0 to MK Dons before that. Drew to Colchester, which everyone does. Drew to Barrow, lost to Forest Green. There's just a few.
They only played Doncaster about a week ago as well.
Yeah, they did. They played them on. Yeah, they played. What? They played Doncaster on Tuesday.
Yeah, but if you go a bit further back.
Yeah, the 2nd of March. It was like a month ago.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. That's quite close proximity.
Yeah, it's quite.
Because I remember sitting there. We're talking about the Tuesday games to my father. And I said, hang about, didn't Walsall already play Doncaster? And they did. I thought that was an interesting fun fact, you know. And they both shared the points, you know, we'll win one, you win the other. The abuse, by the way, from Doncaster fans to Walsall fans about Mo Farr was outrageous. But Doncaster are sort of doing what they're doing at the moment, so I guess.
Yeah, they are. And yeah, for better or for worse, we will get to them.
For worse.
Notts is a tricky one. We've been so inconsistent since Maynard took over. We say this every week, but we really, really need to get a run together so we can kind of not even save the season in terms of get playoffs, but save the season in terms of end on a bit of a high, so we have something to build off, which at the minute we're not going to have.
What I was
going to say, it's going to be like we've just come up again in terms of we don't have any sort of footing in the league.
Yeah.
That's how next season's going to feel unless we can put a bit of a run together. What were you going to say?
I was going to say... what were I going to say? The statement from your owners that sort of came out and said, like, we looked at the stats and the stats say we were really good at football and not bad. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Did you see that one?
I did see that one.
That was an interesting one, wasn't it? I mean,
it was.
I think the stats are lovely. in football. You know, you can
so
work
good.
out a lot. But at the same time, they're saying like, oh, these games where we lost 3-0 or whatever.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done.
We shouldn't have done. We played well enough to, but like at the same time, you're not doing it. You know what I mean? Like if the stats show, oh, we shouldn't have conceded 5 goals against Grimsby, then sort your defense out. That doesn't mean that your defense is fine. You know?
Yeah, I know. It's difficult because it's all well and, like you said, it's all well and good looking at the stats and going, and you can kind of use that as an excuse in games where there's very tight margins.
Yeah.
If we've lost 2-1 to a 91st minute screamer from 40 yards out, you can't then you can say that we were very unlucky. We had very good chances and their keeper was unreal and made stupid saves he shouldn't have made, and they scored goals they shouldn't have scored. It's like fair enough. You can say then, looking at the stats, we really should have won that game. We were just unfortunate. And that you can accept. But if we've been tonked 4-0 at home to Forest Green and they've gone, yeah, but we had better XG than them, so we're just going to keep going. It's like, that's no. It's walking a fine line. Like, I know we're very stat dependent. That's how our recruitment goes. That's how our tactics goes. That's the whole reason we do short corners, for God's sake. But there needs to be a point where it's like, okay, there's a lot more varying factors than I think stats can hold for. Like, because however well stats can do in terms of figuring out what's going to get you the best chances on the pitch, it doesn't equate for any sort of personal variation because it physically can't.
Yeah.
If someone's woke up feeling a bit crap because they haven't slept very well, you can't put that into your stats because you think, oh, they've only got 7 hours 30 sleep and they should have got 8, so they're 0.8% more likely to make a mistake. Like, that's not how it works, and you can't factor that in. But that is very much a case. If you've had a crap night and then you're not feeling it when you're on the pitch and you make a bad pass, then that's a goal for them. You can't equate for that in stats.
No, you can't. Or like, you know, literally anything. You know, there's so many players where you can say like
variables.
You know, even like, surely it doesn't take into account the skill of a player. You know, like if they're saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have beaten here, but we did," in my mind, that's not saying, "Oh, lucky guys." That's sort of my way of viewing it as, what? So they're not good enough.
Yeah, I know. It's a tricky one. I understand they've got to kind of toe the line, which is the fact that they use stats, and everyone and their dog knows that because we don't stop going on about it.
Yeah,
I think it's good that they're backing Maynard and saying that they got confidence in him, because it's nice to see an ownership board doing that at Notts, because for so long we had, if this was 3 or 4 years before we got relegated to the National League, if this was when we were in League Two under Alan Hardy or under Ray True, they would have been gone already. Even at this point in the season, if they had a crap start, they'd just be gone. Simple as that. And that's not what you need.
Do you think that's a good thing that you've kept in then?
I think it remains to be seen. Realistically, if we sacked him, we're not going to get playoffs. We're not going to do any better now anyway. Give him a fresh start next season. And if it gets to January sort of time and we're really struggling again and we look like we might get relegated, then we can make a change, because he's had the summer to build on. He's been allowed to contribute in recruitment, and he's been able to have time with the players to make to do it his way. And if it doesn't work, then that's fair enough.
Is he one of those where you can sort of see like what's coming? You know what I mean? Or
I get what I really, really don't know. I really want it to be a case of next season he turns it around and has an absolute worldie and does brilliantly, and everyone plays Maynard ball. That's what I'd love. But also, with how we finish off this season, we'll make an impact on that, because it'll be a case of if we can keep players we've got, like Jones, like Langstaff, and it'll be a case of if we can bring players in, if we're going to have the pull, because we've gone from being tipped for promotion, in which we can have the pull, and like whether Jones would have signed on to us this season if he didn't expect us to get push for automatics, I'm not sure. If Langstaff wouldn't have signed a brand new contract in the summer if we weren't tipped for like automatics again, I'm not very sure. We've had some very good players come in, like gave him McGoldrick, for example. Although, to be fair, with Didsey, I think he would have come anyway. I think that was just his natural progression, but that's beside the by. We are going to struggle more with recruitment than we would have done under Luke Williams, and what we would have done if we managed to maintain a playoff position. So that just makes it all a bit harder for next season. But hey, I'm not a football coach. I don't do recruitment, so
you're not, and you don't.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for not swinging it right back round. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1 because otherwise this podcast is just going to be me talking about Notts County consistently for the entire thing, and nobody wants that unless you're a Notts fan.
I don't want it. I tell you that. All right. So I'm going to say 3-2 to you. You're not really like, obviously you've just beat Harrogate, but it doesn't feel like you're scoring for fun like you should be. And to be honest, I think it is an underwhelming season from you, but like at the same time, it's not a bad season. It's your first season back. But I'd say relative to expectations, it has been disappointing. I think everyone knows this.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's okay. It's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to say you win 3-2.
Okay. Right. We will leave our clubs behind, even though we've taken up nearly just over a third of the podcast so far.
I didn't even realise.
So sorry. We'll move on. I would argue probably the biggest game tomorrow is between MK Dons and Mansfield Town. Massive game in the run for automatic.
That decides if Stockport go up, doesn't it? Or
I think Stockport just needs. I think Stockport decide if Stockport go up. I think. I don't think they confirmed title.
It looks like it. It's MK Dons theoretically can catch up if they score 26 goals.
A fair few.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, yeah, but no. MK Dons Mansfield. MK Dons obviously sat in 4th place. Mansfield Town sat in 3rd place. Mansfield still got the game in hand over them, and the win midweek for Mansfield pushed them back into the automatics, which MK Dons displaced them from on Saturday. It's a huge game because obviously the winner takes the automatic spot off the other. If Mansfield win and Wrexham lose, Mansfield then jump into 2nd place, Wrexham dropping into 3rd, and then
I think Wrexham can get promoted, can't they, as well tomorrow? But I think it takes a lot more. Actually. I'm fairly sure they can. If not now in the midweek, I think they can. Basically, within a week's time, they could be promoted, is what I'm saying. And I do have a feeling they could do it today, but I can't be bothered working it out.
Okay. Mansfield come off the back of a win. They beat Forest Green Rovers 1-0 the other day, but it was a bit close. Come off the back of 2 losses, one to Crawley, one to Wrexham, and then they drew to Colchester before that. So they've had quite a tricky run of form recently. If Mansfield Town get the win, obviously it's a massive boost. It's still not decided yet if they'd go up, but it pretty much guarantees them got 1 foot in League One almost. MK Dons kind of need to win to keep their automatic promotion hopes alive. Push them 1 place in front of Mansfield. However, Mansfield will still have that game in hand. How can you see this one going? I think it's going to be a really good game.
It is going to be a really good game because, like, Mansfield, you know, I think that stereotypically they're a lot more physical than MK Dons, but Mansfield feel quite like a jack of all trades at the moment. They are starting to Mansfield it up, you know what I mean? They're looking a bit shaky, sort of, and it feels like just maybe, because I feel like if they drop into playoffs, that's going to be a big blow for their confidence. I don't know about you, and we've seen Mansfield do this pretty much every season.
Yes.
So hopefully they don't do it again. I like Mansfield. I like playing them, but you know, for the sake of their fans' mental well-being, I would like them to go up just because they can't keep doing this to people.
No.
aside from that, don't you think my hair looks like a Lego brick right now?
I mean, a little bit.
I don't know. That distracted me for a second.
Sorry, audio listeners.
Sorry, audio listeners. For those who cannot see, my hair looks like a Lego brick right now. Right. So, yeah, Mansfield, they have been bottling it a little bit. Who'd you say they lost to? They did lose to Crawley, which was a big game. That was a big result.
And they lost to Wrexham, and they drew to Colchester.
Yeah, well, drawing to Colchester, grass is green,
Yeah. Unless it's a Valley Parade, then it's not.
Well, then there's just no grass.
Sorry, I'm in the University of Bradford Stadium.
Yeah, University of Bradford Stadium. This pod's gone to shit already.
When was it ever not?
Listen, don't say that about yourself. Mansfield and MK Dons, Taylor's oldest time. MK Dons
since about 2002.
So we do say a lot of good things about MK Dons. Do you think? I think in terms of play style, MK Dons are the most entertaining team to watch.
I'd say they're a close second.
What? Who's first? No, it's
us. We play very similar style. We just concede a lot more goals.
Okay. So you've just heard a Notts fan compare himself to MK Dons.
We do. We play 5 at the back. We play possession-based football, and we score. We both score a good amount.
So did we at the start of the season, and we won like one game.
Yeah, I know, but that's because you're Bradford. Mark Hughes cannot play a 5 at the back.
No, he couldn't, and he sort of made his own bed there. But don't talk about Les. He brought me some very nice memories. Back to what we're supposed to be talking about. We're getting too sidetracked.
Yes.
Slap on the wrist. What do you think? How do you think these play styles are going to sort of come together? Because Mansfield, I think stereotypically they're a more physical team, but I think they're perfectly capable of passing it around as much as they want.
Oh, 100%. And they've got the quality in players as well. They've got the likes of Aidan Flint. They've got the likes of, what is his name? Keeler Dunn. Davis Keeler Dunn, absolute star of a player. And they've got people like Lewis Reed and Bowery, I think his name is, Jordan Bowery, who seems to be able to play at full-back and also up front, which is really random, but he works.
Yeah, is that their number 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered that when he was playing us because I was thinking, why is he number 9?
Yeah, and you've got Lucas Akins as well, who I think can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch and do well. They've got such a versatile...
it is a super team, and you don't really realise it. I feel like Stockport, for example, we can go into detail on them. Mm-hmm. Stockport's kind of more of a management situation, in my opinion. Like, they've got a brilliant squad. They've got a phenomenal squad.
Yeah, of course.
But I think if you take Charlie out of the fucking... Why have I just sworn there? If you take Charlie, I've had a bit of a Tourette's moment. Take Charlie out of the... Jesus, that's proper thrown me off. I don't know why I've done that. If you take Charlie out of the manager role at Stockport, do you think other people would replicate what they're doing? Because I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think Dave Chandler is one of the best, if not the best coach in League Two at the moment.
I think you need to look at Wrexham for that one. Thank you very much.
Let's not take the mic.
I'm genuinely not taking the mic. If you look at everything Phil Parkinson's done, he's only cocked it up at like Sunderland, and that's it.
No, okay, I don't mean it in terms of longevity.
No, I'm not saying like, he can do it in any league. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think in terms of what he's capable of, I think Wrexham kind of drags his reputation down a little bit.
Yeah, no, and possibly so. And you're right. To be fair, looking in hindsight, Parkinson has done a lot at a lot of different clubs and always done very well there. And he's continued to do well at Wrexham. I'm
biased, obviously, but it feels to me that the fact he's sort of, at a club like Wrexham, who have the tools that they have compared to, say when he was with us, our like club legends. I think we signed from Guiseley, stuff like that. We got bare bones players and just knocked them together and it worked. And I think he can very much do that anywhere. I think he could come into any team in this league and save them with like, maybe a summer or something like that. I think he could change everything. That said, this isn't about Wrexham, this is about Mansfield. MK Dons got a bit distracted.
A little bit.
Nigel Clough, he's been getting a lot of blame while we're talking about managers. He's been getting a lot of flack from Mansfield supporters. I think that's rightfully so.
I don't know, but then they've had, when they went into the game on Tuesday, they had 7 defenders all out, all unable to play, and they managed to get a win and a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I get like right now, but the thing is, there's something going on consistently. I think there's players that don't like the dressing room. Like Andy Cook, for example. I'd bring it back to Bradford in every single one of these, by the way. Shut up. It's an example, he didn't have a good time at Mansfield. I think a couple of players struggle at Mansfield, and I think a couple of fans are sort of thinking, it's the same issues every season, bottling it, etc., etc. There's something going on that's causing a little bit of a bottle. Maybe it's the pressure, because the task gets harder and harder, I think.
Yeah, of course it does.
Because, if they don't go up this season and spend all season at the top and then slip a little bit, it could be a massive blow. But that being said, I don't know if they'll rise to the occasion at MK Dons. I don't know. I think MK Dons have more of a slip up in them than Mansfield. You look at MK Dons results, they're either winning 4-0 or losing 4-0. That's like all they're doing. Mansfield, slightly worse form, only 2 points separating them. But for me, I don't know. I think Mansfield are going to win this, is what I'm trying to say, despite my love for MK Dons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Mansfield will come out on top with this one. Very, very, very last thing on Clough. He seems a bit like a Marmite manager in terms of you love him the way he is, or you cannot stand him. And I think that there's no real in between. There's no one who thinks he's all right. You think, oh, he's brilliant, best thing that's happened to the club, or you think, get him out.
Yeah, I presume he's got quite a similar character to his dad. I don't know him that well, but that's sort of the idea that I get with, the atmosphere around him and the sort of, what's the word, conflicting opinions people have on him.
Yeah.
But I am going to say Mansfield win. I'm going to say Mansfield win 2-0. I think MK Dons will struggle tomorrow. And I do want Mansfield to win. I'd like to see them just get out of the league. They deserve it, especially after the season they've
had. I'm going to end with a 3-1 Mansfield win. And I think that rounds us off nicely for a little advertisement break.
Brilliant advert. Wonderful. How did you feel about that one?
So good. I was going to ask you to wait till I finish my mouthful.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice you were eating. I apologise. How many matches have we covered in this time? 2?
We've covered 3 in the first half an hour.
3? Are you joking?
No, we've done...
I thought we did... Oh, shit.
So we will have to speed through a few of these, so I do apologise if your team doesn't get the coverage you'd like it to. However, it is coverage from me and Charlie, which isn't exactly Sky Sports punditry.
It's better.
So, moving on swiftly. Wrexham Forest Green, that's a big game. 1-0. Moving on. No, right. Wrexham Forest Green. Wrexham doing very well at the top of the table. We've just gone on about Phil Parkinson, and Charlie's saying how he's the best man that's ever walked the planet of the earth, and he'd have his kids and all that jazz of weird stuff Charlie comes out with every now and again. I don't know this for myself, but Charlie seems to think that if they win tomorrow, they could certify themselves in the automatic spots, which would be a huge, huge bonus if they win, and I believe if results go their way.
I think if results go their way, but to be honest, I haven't got a clue at this point. They're only 4 points behind Stockport, who need a point to confirm promotion. So I'm pretty sure it's possible tomorrow. I'm not doing the maths because we simply don't have time, and I'm lazy. So big game for both teams. Very
big game. Forest Green Rovers are at the very, very bottom of the division. They are 3 points off safety at the moment. They really desperately need to pick up some wins, and I don't think Wrexham is going to be where they're going to pick them up, if I'm honest.
Absolutely. I think Wrexham's form and sort of some of the results Wrexham have got, despite being, big matches, not big matches, despite being matches that you'd sort of write them off to win, their results are a little bit unpredictable towards the later end of the season, don't you think?
Yeah, no, 100% they are.
Yeah. Losing to Doncaster, they beat Mansfield, which is a great feat, beat Grimsby. I mean, they lost to Tranmere.
Yeah.
They drew to Harrogate.
They beat Colchester, didn't draw, random.
Yeah. So that's a sign of a team that deserves promotion in my eyes.
And they only drew to Forest Green a few. I think it was a couple of days back, wasn't it, Charlie?
It was a couple of days back. It was in February.
Yeah, just round the corner.
Just round the corner. I'm never living that down. It felt like it just felt recent. The Doncaster game just felt recent.
We kind of say the same thing about Wrexham every single week, which is the fact they've got such good quality and depth and such a high quality squad.
And a really good manager as well.
Yeah, really good manager as well. Really good high quality squad. They're in the automatics for a reason. They've done brilliantly this season. First season up, back-to-back promotions, almost guaranteed now.
Yeah, someone else can't do that, can they?
Nope. At least we haven't been in this league for many, many years and still can't get out.
Listen, you're falling for it as well. It's happening. We'll be doing this pod for years.
A decade down the line. It's our turn this year. Come 8th. Anyway, I think Wrexham are going to absolutely smash Forest Green Rovers, and I think they're going to win about 5-1.
5-1? Fuck off now. I think I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think Forest Green will score. Wrexham are going to win. I'm going to say I've laughed at you, but I am going to say 3-1. Wrexham need this, and I think they'll do it. It feels like they slip up a bit, but they can really get going when they have to. Said enough about Wrexham, to be honest, already. Not much to say about Forest Green except goodbye.
There's a song in there somewhere, I feel.
Goodbye.
There's not much left to say but goodbye. Whoa, oh, wow. That's like a James Blunt hit.
It is. I can't. I'm trying to think of lyrics now. I'm trying to freestyle.
Right. We don't have time to think of lyrics, Joe.
We've got
time. 20 minutes left or so.
Sorry. Matthew makes sure that the pod ends bang on 1 hour.
Yeah, but we can be midway through it, so then you'll hear the music. Yeah. Anyway. So you're going 3-1. Moving on. We've got Doncaster versus Accrington Stanley. We talk about Doncaster a lot because they are on, I think it's like a 7-game win streak at the minute.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. They're really, really testing my patience, if I'm honest, because they're now 4 points off the playoff spots. And they were going to get relegated.
Listen, like Liam's been getting shit because he said you need to be asking questions of Grant McCann, which I think is true. The person you need to be giving shit to is me, because him. Because we were saying at one point, just sack him now. And Doncaster fans have been saying, oh no, it's going to work out. And by Jiminy Cricket, it is working out. I mean, I don't think anyone would be shocked from here to the end of the season if Doncaster make playoffs. Maybe if you asked me maybe 3 weeks ago, are Doncaster making playoffs, I'd say no. But looking at it now, they're just winning every game, and it's like they've done it on purpose. It really does feel like that. I mean, I messaged you on, I think it was Saturday or Tuesday, something like, for fuck's sake. No, it was yesterday. For fuck's sake, Morecambe docked 3 points, which I think we mentioned at the start. Doncaster just made it's just like the stars are aligning for Doncaster, and I'm not happy with it. I'm really not happy with it. They need to lose. Surely they're due a loss.
They've been due a loss since when did they win?
7 weeks ago.
Literally just the other day they started winning on the 17th of Feb. That was when they started winning. They haven't lost since the 17th of February. The only time they've dropped points is to Bradford. Oh, wait, no, tell a lie. Sorry, I'm completely lying to you. They lost to Walsall. Oh. They've won consistently since the 9th of March and have won every game since then. They drew the game before that.
Do you think they'll do it? I don't want to speak too much. I mean, they've got Adelaide and they've got Maxime Biamou, who both are brilliant. Their squad's improved, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Significantly. Availability's increased, and everything. It seems like Grant McCann very clearly had a plan. It's a bit of a
bit of a rap in there.
Yeah. I'm not rapping anymore.
That can be included in our song. That can be a feature.
That could. The Grant McCann rap. Anyway, do you think they'll do it? I think that's what we need to talk about with Doncaster. Do you think they'll do it?
The Grant McCann rap sounds like a McDonald's special, by the way.
They're going to beat Aki Stanley. They just will.
It feels too bold to say that they're going to do it because it's so unrealistic. But also, I really think they are going to do it.
Genuinely, I look at the running and I think about, Crawley dropped points the other day.
Yeah.
It's very much open. I think no matter what, if Doncaster keep this form up, they'll get playoffs. Probably.
If Doncaster win,
I feel like if they end up in the playoffs, they will win them as well.
They'll win it. They will. And Doncaster will be in League One.
League Two sucks. You know what I mean? It's just crap. I'm
going to go for a Doncaster win tomorrow.
I'm going to go for a Doncaster win. I feel like if they do this one, that's it. They're going up because despite playing Barrow, Colchester and Gillingham at the remainder of the season, the one that they would lose out of those four is Accrington. And I really don't think they're going to. I genuinely think they're going to make playoffs. And I'm losing sleep over it, man. It's not fair. Why can't we do that? You know what I mean? Anyway, score 2-0 to Doncaster.
You're going 2-0.
Very smart, very, very nice win for Doncaster.
See, I'm going to go a little curveball. 1-0.
1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Oh, right. Next game.
There's one big game that I think needs to be discussed.
Oh, are we on about Stockport Morecambe?
Yeah, I think we need to talk about that one.
I think we do, because if Stockport pick up a point tomorrow, then they will be promoted to League One. The title obviously is still on the line and still in their hands. However, I think it's just 1 point they need and they're up.
That's it. That's the one.
Morecambe, obviously with the point deduction today, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. 3 points taken off.
Yeah. With the points deduction yesterday, they don't really have anything to play for anymore. They are, 12. No, they're not. They're 9. Oh my goodness me! They're 8 points off the playoff spots. I can't see them turning this around when they've lost their last two anyway. Morecambe, I think, have kind of bowed out now for the season. A bit like Notts.
We've been saying that quite a bit, haven't we? A bit like
a bit like Notts. Like Bradford. They've just kind of bowed out now. They want to get to the end, reset over the summer, go again next season. Stockport, obviously, if they win, then happy days, jubilation at Stockport.
Fortnite emote. I'm sure the League Two fan base really do get that. Sorry.
Do you want to give us an example?
I'm not doing jubilation.
Do it. You brought this up.
I'm not
Stand up, wheel your chair slightly back, and give us an example, Charlie.
I genuinely, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I cannot do.
Do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Come on, we've not got time.
I know, so hurry up.
I'll do. I'll do the top half. It's sort of like a bit of like, you stand like that. It's like Jude Bellingham, sort of. Jude Bellingham sounds like jubilation. That's why he does it.
I won't laugh.
And you do that, and then while like sort of like, do you like run on the spot while doing it? I can't. It's been quite some time.
You're doing this, not me.
Well, I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. I can't. I can't even remember what match we were on about.
We're on about Stockport.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Stockport
versus Morecambe.
Stockport are basically up.
Yes.
We know this. But a point makes it official. But they're basically up unless someone scores a freaky amount. Unless someone scores a freaky amount of goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done, Stockport. Morecambe checked out. You think Stockport? I feel like Stockport aren't the sort of team to play for a draw today.
No, not at all.
And that means that I'm going to say 3-0 to Stockport. I really think they'll just.
Oh, nice.
I think they'll emphatically sort of do the job.
See, I've gone for a 3-1. I don't think they'll get a clean sheet. However, they will still score a lot of goals, and I think it'll be a very convincing win. Right. Look at the bigger games of the weekend. Give them a bit more airtime.
I think there's
Crawley Town versus Colchester.
Yeah, that's the biggest one remaining.
Yeah.
Crawley Town sort of favourites to be 7th now. They've sort of comfortably snuck themselves into playoffs. And I say snuck, they've been pretty close all season. They had a great start to the season, slowed down a bit in the middle, and now they've sorted things out. For a team who was predicted to finish rock bottom, stayed up by the skin of their teeth last season, massive fair play to Crawley.
It's Scott Lindsay, isn't it, the coach there? Hell of a job he's done.
Yeah, since he's got there, he's just sorted absolutely everything out. So well done. Not been put up for manager of the season, which absolutely shocks me. I think I have said it about Parky, but I think the guy who's performed the best feat this season, without a doubt, is Scott Lindsay. I mean, with the sort of resources they've had, obviously they got took over by Wagme, but Crawley shouldn't be up there. No, they should be. They've earned it, but absolutely nobody saw this coming. I don't even think Crawley fans saw it coming. So, well done, Crawley, to that.
Well done, Crawley.
I'm going to have a look at Crawley's running.
Well done, Creepy.
They've got Colchester, so that's a big game for them both. Colchester need to pick up a point. Crawley, they did have quite a large blip. They beat Mansfield 4-1 and then lost 4-1 to Wrexham the following Tuesday. So hopefully for Crawley, that's not it. You know what I mean? That's not it for them. I really hope not. I kind of do hope that's it, because it opens up playoffs completely. They seem like the one thing stopping people from mid-table being able to get there. At the same time, they're protecting us from sort of Doncaster. We need Crawley to drop points if we want a chance, even though it's not happening. But yeah, they've got Colchester, Barrow, Sutton, and then Grimsby. So they're basically playing for Christ.
Yeah, three of the bottom floor.
Yeah. And then Barrow, who, it depends on what day you get them on. Crawley plays some of the nicest football in the league. I think Mike Williamson and Nigel Clough, their teams sort of do play the ball nicely, but Crawley, it seems like it's kind of like FIFA. Do you know when you're playing FIFA and like the guy you're playing against like plays every ball first time and stuff like that? It's just like that. They know exactly what they're doing, and I think everyone agrees that he's done wonders there. But before I sort of, ramble on, because in your mind we've got 10 minutes and a second left. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Do you think there's anything I forgot to sort of discuss?
Not off the top of my head. I think it's going to be a different one, because looking at Crawley's recent fixtures, they have conceded and scored a lot of goals. They've conceded 8 in the last. No, they haven't. They've scored 9 in their last 3 games. There's been a 4-0, a 4-1, and a 4-1. 2 of them going in their favour, 1 of them not. So very high scoring matches. Colchester, on the other hand, are the complete opposite and managed to get 1-1 pretty much all the way through the season. So it's kind of 2 very opposing styles there. You've got one team who can score a lot of goals and concede a lot of goals, and one team who doesn't concede a lot but very rarely scores. So it's just going to be a case of which one of them wins, and I think it's going to be Crawley.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Colchester, since the Cowleys have come in, have really turned a corner. I just think their bad form earlier on, they've got a million games in hand on Sutton, but I think their bad form earlier in the season sort of still catching up with them right now. I think, they've not won too much, but I think in terms of the way they play, it's better. You look at all the draws they've got recently. It's the fundamentals. They're hard to beat at the moment, but at the same time, they are struggling to beat people. So there is the odd game where they sort of lose. I think Crawley really want this. I think this is big for Crawley, and I think they will do it. I think it's sort of finishing the story that was started in the summer,
Yeah.
I think they really have a point to prove, and I respect that massively. A lot less than I respect Doncaster. So yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 to Crawley. I don't think it's gonna be easy, but I think they will win. Sort of solidify their opportunity, not their opportunity, solidify their position in the playoffs.
I'm going to go for a nice little 2-0.
Okay, sweet. Another game. How many have we got left?
You're not going to give me a score prediction, no?
I said 2-1.
No? All right, sorry. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you say 2-1. I was messing about with the brightness on my computer.
1, 2, 3.
Another game.
4, 5.
We've kind of got the ones which don't matter as much.
Yeah.
A lot of them still include somebody who has something to play for, however. Like we've got Harrogate Town versus Sutton. Harrogate Town don't really have anything to play for anymore. Again, a bit like Morecambe and Notts and Bradford. They're kind of bowing out the season. Although they're saying that they're only 4 points off the playoff spots.
Mm-hmm.
They've won 3 of their last 5. They've only lost 1. And that was against Notts. So theoretically, Harrogate are still in with a bit of a shout of going up this season.
Yeah.
It's a very quiet shout, almost can't hear it shout. Okay. But yep.
Yeah, you're right.
On the Sutton point of view, they are doing absolutely everything they can to not get relegated. They lost their most recent game, lost to Stockport, but before that they'd went on a 4-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they'd won the previous 4. Admittedly, they weren't the most difficult of games. However, you can only play what's in front of you, and they've managed to beat them all, which has dragged them out of the relegation zone for now, despite earlier really bad form. Oh my God! Right, so they've got 9 wins in total. 4 of them were in the last 5 games.
Yeah, I mean the whole bottom 4 has only won 9 games. Wait, 4? No, but 4 of them in the last. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That is outrageous.
It is, and another 2 of them were against Notts.
One of them was against us, if that makes you feel better.
Okay, so there's 2 wins unaccounted for so far from Sutton.
And I can't remember them.
No, neither. But that doesn't matter. That's beside the point. The point is, Sutton are doing really well at the moment to drag themselves out of the relegation zone. If they can get a couple more wins under their belt, a win against Harrogate would be huge, especially if Grimsby drop points and Colchester drop points. It kind of gives them a little edge closer to safety. They'll stay in the same position no matter what, unless they go further down, like if Colchester win, for example. I think it's going to be a tricky one because I think Sutton have more to play for than Harrogate, but Harrogate have a higher quality team and are still on the lookout for playoff positions because it's still very possible. Only 4 points between them and playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a really, really even match because Sutton, despite not having the quality of Harrogate, have more to play for. Absolutely. And Harrogate balance it out by having a better side and less to play for.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Anyway, I think it's going. I think we could see a draw.
I think we could see a draw. I really don't think. I think I say this every week since we played them. Sutton aren't really that bad. They're just sort of. It's like they struggle with the fundamentals. They concede a goal, they make a mistake and concede a goal. But in terms of like how they play, creating chances, they do it. They just struggle to take them. And I think this side has been a little like a small touch away from being much further up the table. I really do. I obviously don't know how they played in all the other games that they didn't. In the 41 games that weren't against us, I don't know how well they played.
No.
However, I really don't think they're that bad, and I'd like them to stay up. I don't think they will. I am going to say 2-0 to Harrogate. I think Harrogate will just win. To be frank.
Fair enough, Frank. I'm going to go for a 2-2 with Harrogate and Sutton.
It's a good one. That's funny for you.
Thanks. Oi. Less of that.
Are there any other big games remaining, or should we? I mean, there's Barrow, Gillingham, and then I think
Barrow, Gillingham. Yeah. Barrow obviously already in the playoff positions. They've got a couple of games in hand on those around them. I think they're pretty much safe in terms of there's 5 points between them and 8th. As long as they don't go on a mad losing streak, which to be fair, they've started. They lost the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't go on a ridiculous losing streak, they're pretty much guaranteed to get playoffs. I don't think they'll do anything in the playoffs. However, they'll be in there, which will mean they get, maybe a bit of a better pool of player for over the summer, and maybe rebuild and go again next season, especially if they can keep hold of Pete Wild, because he is Pete Wild. Gillingham, 5 points off the playoff positions. Again, lost their last 2.
Yeah.
I think their season's sort of finished, Gillingham. Again, alongside Notts and Morecambe, Bradford. I think they're kind of bowing out now.
I had a
good game, good season. See you in a bit.
See you next year.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what they're doing. Barrow, I don't seem to have a lot of urgency. I get the feeling Barrow don't have a lot of urgency about them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Barrow fans sort of saying, and I remember this being conflict when they first dropped away from the autos. A lot of fans were saying, "Oh, it's okay, we shouldn't even be in the EFL." Other fans were saying, "Yeah, but we've bottled it," and I totally get both sides. I think there's no shame to Barrow for bottling it. They're having a great season anyway. Making playoffs is brilliant.
Yeah.
At the same time, I really don't think they're ready for League One. I think Pete Wild's brilliant. I just don't think they're ready. I mean, you look at the results. I don't think any of the results really make sense, especially if you go from one to the other. Like losing 5-3 to Salford, losing 2-1 to Forest Green, losing to Wimbledon, but beating MK Dons 1-0. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't think they'll win playoffs either. I agree. And Gillingham, I spoke to Gills in the Blood, who's a very, very lovely person, I found out on Twitter, about Gillingham's issues, because, I'm always complaining about how I don't know anything about them.
Look at you getting your research in.
I know. After we played them, I said, well, best of luck, hopefully you get playoffs. And he was like, oh, no, that's the season over. And I was like, you're not far off. The thoughts around Gillingham is that they're just crap. They really struggle with the easy things, sort of similar to you. Mistakes cause the issues. But that being said, I think there's a lot of fans who wish they didn't sack Neil Harris. They think that nothing's really gone on in that department, which makes sense. But as far as I'm aware, Gillingham, it is your season over. Barrow, it is your season over.
No, Barrow have got playoffs.
No, yeah, but I'm saying that I don't think they'll do anything.
Yeah, they won't win them, but they're in there.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's stupid of me to say, because their season is literally has extra games in. But I don't think they'll do well. I don't even think. Do you think they'll make it to Wembley?
No, I doubt it. I'd like them to. I'd like it to be a completely random club that goes up. I think that'd be really interesting, but I don't think they will.
I think my favourite at the moment is Crawley. I'd like to see Crawley do that.
Yeah,
I want to go to Milton Keynes again. Sorry,
I've got a friend who supports Crewe, so for that sake, I'd say I wouldn't mind if Crewe went up.
That's right. That's so nice of you.
Honestly, mate, thank you. What are you saying, Scorpion? I'm going to go 1-1 Gillingham and Barrow.
Yeah, I think he's got 1-1 all. Over it.
So you're going for a 1-1. Look at all the green. Wow.
I know.
We've hit the hour mark and we're still going. Right.
We've only got, 2 games left? Three.
Right, we've got Crewe Alexandra versus Grimsby Town. Just been on about Crewe. They've had an extraordinary season as well. So they're in 5th place.
Season, yes.
Yep.
Lee Bell.
Lee Bell Tricky Reds.
Lee Bell's Tricky Reds at the Mornflake Stadium, which is I still find Mornflake a really funny thing, and I don't know why.
That is a shocking name for a stadium.
Well, it's because in Crewe they sell Mornflakes.
It sounds like a really crap version of cornflakes, doesn't it?
It is. That's why.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just cornflakes that aren't called cornflakes, and that's why it makes me laugh. But I think it's like a genuine, serious brand. It's not like a knockoff or anything. Mornflake. This is actually quite a big game.
I think it is.
Crewe probably want to win. I mean, I think they're playoff bound now, unless something crazy happens. In fact, no. Yeah. Grimsby struggling. I reckon a point will keep them up at this stage.
I think so. I think Grimsby, despite their best efforts, I think will stay up this season.
Yeah, despite their best efforts. That's funny. That's a funny joke.
Mate, I'm on that one today.
You are on a bad one. Well done, Matthew.
Thank you. Yeah, they've got a game in hand on Sutton still. I can't see them slipping into the relegation spots, if I'm honest. They're flirting with it. They're definitely winking. But I don't think there's no move made there, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even think they've asked for the snap.
No, they haven't. They haven't made a gesture. They haven't done the phone. They haven't bought them a drink. They're just there. They're just looking over. They're just the guy that you see every now and again looking here.
Yeah, do you think he was in here last week?
Is he following me?
He's here every time I come in. I don't know why that's so funny. It's probably made me laugh. It's my own joke. We all know that one person. Put a comment in if you know that one person that's always at the club.
That's your friend who's always at the club.
Right, Christ. Yeah, I think Grimsby are safe. I think a point would do it. Whether or not they get a point, I doubt that.
Yeah,
I need to take a peek at Crewe's form. Crewe's form has been very weird. They've been drawing and losing. They lost to Forest Green. They beat Sutton. They lost to MK Dons. They seem like their form sort of dropped a lot more than it was at the start of the season, where they felt contenders for autos. I'm going to back Grimsby again. I believe I back them most of the time. I am going to say
for you though.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work on any match. That being said, I'm going to say a 1-1. I think I'm going to say a 1-1, and Grimsby,
obviously
not to officially be safe, but I think a point would pretty much
secures it. Yeah,
and I think they'll get that point.
Okay, penultimate game then is Swindon Town versus AFC Wimbledon. Swindon Town. Again, they're safe. They're not going anywhere. The season's kind of bowed out. They need a massive rebuild in the summer, from literally top to bottom, including the ownership, all the way down to the players on the pitch. They need new players. They need new staff. They need literally a brand new club. However, if that's going to happen, I'm not sure.
I don't think they're getting a new club.
I doubt it. Wimbledon, however, are a new club. Are quite a new club, yes. Like MK
Depending on who you ask, yes.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so they're 3 points off playoffs. They are really flirting up. They've bought playoffs a shot.
That do you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you think they've bought playoffs a shot and then turned around and Crawley's bought playoffs a shot and thought, hang on?
Yeah, and then thinking,
they're turning around, they're seeing Doncaster giving it a bit of an eye.
Doncaster, a bit of a wink from across the dance floor. Bit of a drink. There'll be an offer.
And Doncaster, they were at this club a couple of weeks ago, and nobody wanted a drink. But now, maybe they've got some new friends.
He's put on a bit of timber. He's brought out his new, like you said, he's got his new Sambas on, like Rishi, and he's marching his way through the dance hall.
He's got his stony polo on. He's got
the stony.
He's had a trim. He's had a trim. Maybe he's got some veneers in. He's got his Tommy Shelby tattoo on his arm or something.
Splash of Savage around the neck.
Yeah,
he's away.
And now, I think this makes football really easy to explain. But yeah, AFC Wimbledon have sort of been buying drinks throughout the season.
They've been there for the long run, haven't they?
Yeah,
never really made the move, but they've been there. They've been slowly progressing.
And the thing is, Swindon sort of is a bit of a cock block. Swindon have been winning the odd game where it's like, why have you won that game, Swindon? They really do. They do things that you really don't know why they've just done that, like beat Barrow 2-0.
Yeah.
Lose to Accrington Stanley. Draw to Stockport. Beat Tranmere 3-1. Stuff like that. It's kind of like, what is going on, Swindon? Swindon are safe, but it's not even really something that needs discussing.
If you'll allow me, Swindon are the guy. So Wimbledon will be chatting up the playoffs. They'll be stood by the bar having a conversation, and Swindon will walk past and accidentally, it might be accidentally, might not be, give him a bit of a nudge, bit of a fall, and his drink goes down, and he has to leave. That's what Swindon is.
Yeah. Who's the bouncer in this league?
He gets his dark fruit down his white top, and he has to go. The bounce, I don't know who the bounce would be.
The thing, I think it's Accrington, because Accrington's just there. They're not there to dance. They're not there to contest. They're just there. They're just there to make sure everyone's all right. They'll give someone an helping hand every now and then. Swindon, can they afford a drink?
I don't know. This is why they never buy. This is why they just spilt. They don't buy them. They haven't bought them for the relegation battle. They haven't bought them for the playoffs. They definitely haven't bought any for the automatics, but they're like VIP.
That's like a bottle of AU,
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You've got a booth. My point here is Swindon get weird results. They're not very good, but they can get a result. Do you think that they could sort of upset things for Wimbledon?
I think they definitely could. I think they have the capability to, and they've proven that they can beat much better teams than them in the past. But I think when it gets down to this sort of end of the season, the nitty gritty, if you will, I think Wimbledon will come out on top. I think Wimbledon, they need to get this win, and they will do. Moving past the horrendous things we've just said. I don't know what I'm trying to say about people knocking into each other in clubs. On a serious footballing note, Wimbledon need to get this win in order to maintain this playoff push, and I think they will do because they don't really have another choice. Because if they don't do it, then playoff dreams are gone.
They've got a game in hand on Crawley as well. I don't know if other way around.
No, they don't. Other way around.
Like everyone's got a game in hand on Wimbledon, so yeah, they really do need to win.
If they don't win this game, all it takes is for Walsall to beat Notts, which is probably going to happen. Doncaster to win, which almost definitely will happen. Harrogate to win, which is almost definitely going to happen. And they've dropped down to 11th or 12th.
I'm not trying to exclude you, but I really do think that anyone 14th and above is in it. Obviously, some are more in it than others, but I really do think anyone could do it. Because I feel like anyone could slip up. The only one I don't see slipping up is Doncaster. And that's not me trying to force a way to include us. I really think that.
See, I was thinking more from 12th above. That's kind of where the cutoff is.
I mean, no, 12th above, yeah, actually, maybe. But I still think Morecambe and us could potentially do it, but it's not in our hands.
No, it's not. No,
I really do think it's quite open still. A lot more open than people think it is.
Quite open still.
Shut up. Have we done a score prediction?
We haven't. No. What are you going to go for?
I'm going to say a 1-0 to Wimbledon. Okay,
no, that's fair. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to join you. I'm going to join you on a 1-0.
John. Okay.
And finally, we've got a final game after an hour and 10.
Sorry, Matthew.
is Newport versus Rob Apter. Newport are doing terribly. I don't know what's happened to Newport.
How many red X's is that? 1, 2, 3. That's 5 red X's.
They've lost their last 5 in a row. Before that, they beat Wimbledon and Morecambe, random. But yeah, they've lost to Barrow, Colchester, lost 4-0 to Crawley, lost to Grimsby, and they've lost to Accrington Stanley. And now they come up against Rob Apter. So there's only one way this is going, and that's a Rob Apter hat trick. It's just the way the land.
He sort of disappeared since we found him.
He really hasn't.
He's really, really thought, can these kids shut up?
Stop talking about me.
Is this a derby? I'm not saying that because I think it is. Like, Tranmere sort of have a weird rivalry with Wrexham.
Yeah.
I know Newport and Wrexham aren't next to each other, but I don't know. Do Tranmere just not like Welsh teams? I don't understand.
I'm going to gather so, just because Tranmere are on the they're near enough on the border between England and Wales, aren't they? And
yeah,
Newport,
it's a derby. We've decided.
Okay, we've got the Newport Tranmere, the famous Newport Tranmere derby, which we're not going to go into a big thing again. We can't do this.
No, we're not, because this is like the third time we've done it. Neither team has much to play for.
No, both teams bowed out, not going anywhere. Both on really bad form, actually.
Newport have won more games than us, like both of us. Oh, no, they've won as many as you, but they've won more games. You know?
Yeah. Do Newport or Tranmere fans care about the rest of the season?
I anticipate Tranmere fans are quite happy with how their season's ended, given how it started.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Newport fans, I think overall they would be happy. They were expected to. A lot of people thought they'd get relegated, but at the same time, can you be happy with sort of being as good as you've been at stages in this season for quite a good run?
Yeah.
And then losing 5 on the bounce in crunch time, they've sort of very, very comfortably took themselves out of playoffs. Not out of playoffs, but out of contention for that final spot.
And they've done it off their own back as well, because they had the opportunity. They were in there.
I would be quite frustrated. I'm going to be honest. I would be very frustrated if I were them, because it's not a pleasant way to end the season, especially, what they've lost 5 in a row. They didn't lose any before that. Lost to Barrow, lost to Colchester, lost to Crawley, lost to Grimsby, lost to Accrington. Losing to Accrington alone would ruin the season for me. Yeah, I really wouldn't be happy if I was a Newport fan. Despite, it's one of those things. I don't know how to put it in a good way, but it's kind of like, despite having so much like bad expectations at the start of the season, you would still be quite pissed off if you did this. 5 on the bounce in crunch time is sort of bad. If they lost against Tranmere, I think they'd be fuming, but they've sort of got to think, oh well, season's over. But it's never nice to lose a match of football, is it?
No, of course it's not. Especially at this point in the season when they have been doing so well.
I suspect Tranmere will want it more. Not Tranmere, Newport, because you really don't want to end a season like that, do you?
No, of course you don't. No, I get that.
Yeah. Do you think anything special to discuss?
I don't think there's much more really to say on the matter. Neither team, it doesn't affect either team really how this goes, except from a bit of pride in how they maybe start the following season. So with that in mind, I don't think it's going to be an incredibly exciting game. I think it's going to be maybe a 1-0, maybe even a 0-0.
I don't think it'll be a 0-0. And obviously it doesn't matter for either team, but I don't think it's going to be one of those games where no one tries to win it.
No, I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Newport.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Tranmere.
Okay. That completes this Saturday's fixtures. We will try and get a second pod out at the start of next week to look at the 5 midweek games. That'll be much shorter, maybe a half an hour sort of podcast. A bite size, if you will. But thank you ever so much for listening to us waffle through this last hour and 15 minutes. If you're listening on Spotify or Amazon or however you're listening, or Apple, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a good review, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If you're watching us on YouTube, we'll give you a little wave. Please feel free to leave any comments slagging us both off if you wish. If you want to tell us we're the best podcast you've ever listened to, you don't need to lie. It's all right. And if you want anything else in these podcasts, anything at all, please tweet us, comment, whatever, and we'll get back to whoever if you want anything adding. But please, this is as much your podcast as it is ours. So thank you very much for listening. And Charlie, anything to add?
No, I think that's it. I've had fun this time, and that's it. But yeah,
we've had a good time. We always have a good time.
We do. Thank you for being on this journey with us, guys, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.